Well, we were at the swap meet in Webster, and it was a bust. So this is Plan B. Plan B, we are in Tampa, and we're at Tampa Vintage Cycles. Steve Cosmo, who you can find on Facebook. And today is his huge parking lot sale. Hey, it's Dave from Bullpen Cycles, and we are back in Webster, Florida at the Swap-A-Rama, which is held the first weekend of every month. Now, if you recall, we came here in the summer and I thought it was a bust. So today is November, I think it's the 5th, and it's supposed to be better in winter now that the weather's cooler. So let's find out. This is a cop bike. See the release on the saddlebags so they could reach back and open them while they're sitting on the bike.
About 15 bucks.
It's a cop bike Road King. I always like these with the painted shroud. 28,000 miles, 5,800 bucks. No phone. Cheap full-size Harleys. 93 Tour Glide Ultra. 4,800 bucks. Let's see if we can read the mileage. 88,000 miles. And it's an Evo. Okay, so we have a plunger frame, coffee can tail light, Earl's forks, and a rubber Denfield seat. It looks like, I'm gonna guess, 50s, probably mid 50s, R50 BMW, maybe. Not for sale, and it's their regular bike. But man, that's his tour. He's here with a full load of stuff. It says 67 FLH, 25,000 original miles, extra fender, Shriner's bike. I guess that's some kind of oil cooler.
Hey, dude.
And horn.
That looks familiar. It comes with a portable garage.
And a siren. Well, I know we're not really into cars, but gotta check this out. Hudson pickup truck. Don't see these around much. What a good looking truck. Well, not finding much here. It's mostly all postmodern Harley. So we got a plan B. And our plan B is we are going to go another 45 minutes or so down the road to Tampa Bay Vintage. They have a parking lot sale. Hundreds of bikes, they say. Well, we were at the swap meet in Webster, and it was a bust. So this is Plan B, and we're at Tampa Vintage Cycles. Steve Cosmo, who you can find on Facebook, and he has bikes typically 400 cc's and under, and today is his huge parking lot sale. So let's take a look around. Honda Mini Dream. These are good for parts. That looks like a Pook. I don't know what that is. Anchor. Does it say where it's made? I'm not a big moped guy. What does that say? Motor Crisato Padova? I don't know. Made in Italy. Oh, another one of them little Suzukis. I think, yep. Here's a Honda, I think. Yep. And it's got the kicker that everybody needs. CZ Sport. Benelli Mojave on a pole. What the heck? Love those bug eyes. Wonder what motor they have in it.
It's a huge motor.
Oh, it's some kind of Honda motor, I think.
Yeah.
Like a CM400.
It's huge. That's all I know. This thing flies.
It must rattle. Oh, it's the Honda Matic. An IT 175, 125. YZ250. Hey, there's a kitty cat. Is he coming in? Yeah, I guess he's coming in. Is that a TS400? That has some potential. That doesn't look bad. You know, I always look at the tires. Trials. Yeah, IRC, that's an original bike. I can't remember what's a YL1 and a YG1. This is late. What do they do here? .354 banger. At least I'm assuming it's the 350. Yep. And it's a twofer. Is that a GT80? So here's another one. And maybe that's what it is. Little Yamaha Exciter, Sears Pook, SS350 Sprint. Ooh, another 360. Okay, so this is early. This is gonna be an RT 1, 2, or 3. There's enough of it there that's worth saving. And a Hodaka. with Mulholland shocks. So somebody was racing that. Nice expansion chamber. Wonder what model it is. Super Rat. One of those Gorelli 4-strokes. But they were sold here under another name. Trying to remember, I had one. And the 4-stroke Gorelli engine is actually a Perilla engine. I'm thinking that's some kind of little Harley. DFMM. I don't know what that is, but I think we are fishing from the bottom of the barrel. So Steve is letting us into his inter sanctum, and he has a thing for mostly small Italian, but anything small European. Now of course this Rally Honda, that's not European. Benelli, Taljet, Pook. Look like some more Pooks, a couple of Benellis, Samati, Ladaka, nice Suzuki. I don't know what this red, how do you pronounce that? Malaguti? Malaguti. And this is a Perilla next to it with another Perilla. And you know that Gorelli out there that you have that has a Perilla engine? Yeah, that's a Rex. We had the Benelli section. Osa Wildfire. And
SDR.
Is that an SDR? Okay. I don't know what that is. What is it?
I forget the name of it too.
It says Maival?
Mival.
Mival. And is that Italian?
Yes. Yep.
Next to a Marini Corsorino. I have two of those. To the little Guzzi. The only 2-stroke Guzzi that I think they probably ever made.
The Dingo. 50cc.
Oh, well, here's, of course, I just lied because here's another 2-stroke Guzzi. Were they still called Dingo back then? Or were they called something else?
Well, the engine they called the Dingo.
Okay.
They used it on a moped, they used it on a kickstart noped, and then these motorcycles. So that's a Corsorino.
Yeah.
Red one.
Which means little pirate.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that old Ducati. That's kind of a thing.
52.
Next to the DKW.
Bruno Cavani, actually an Italian made with the DKW parts. 2 years only.
Did you ever ride it?
Yes, I have.
I bet it rides awful. How's it ride?
I don't go very far on them, so I was just happy to go around the block.
I bet.
Man. But, you know.
Some more Benellis.
I like the way it looks.
Yeah, it is very pretty. And what's that Mike Harper bike? Oh, Bianchi.
Most of these are Mike Harper bikes, but there's some Bianchis, 3 of them actually. And then the little tiny, little 48cc Bianchi.
That's the green one.
That one happens to be in, you know, I have one thing in common with Barber, that they have that bike in their gift shop. So.
Oh yeah? So you need to open a gift shop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And a Gorelli.
And that's a Zanzani Capria, that tank over there.
That frame with a tank on it?
So it's for Say Toronto,
which looks like it's got some kind of Cherryani on the front.
It does. It does. And it has all the new ribs and everything. And we have the engine, we just got to put it together, all the bearings. It's a long-term project. These are fun stories because this was, you know, between us and our friends on the internet. This was a factory worker took those 2 bikes home and put them in his house from 1972, the Malagudi and the Chamati, and neither have had gas in the tank ever.
So those are basically brand new
I have to meet these guys. Okay.
bikes. Yeah, I'll follow you. Duty calls.
Maybe that's he's just seeing Google fight.
I reached out to him and it's like, hey, so you got a title? Interested maybe like a Vespa trade or something?
Excuse
But he
me.
does have a title.
But the guy wasn't interested in a trade.
No, the guy was interested in a trade there. But I was thinking like, oh, maybe he might be interested in like one of the Vespas that I laying around. You know, and I could get like
That's a 4-stroke Kawasaki. Now this isn't something Steve would usually get.
Yeah.
So he must be a scooter interested person.
And then an Avenger.
Remember that guy? That guy's skull that died.
Yeah.
His bikes for sale. I don't know what happened to those bikes, but you know.
And
there's this dude changed.
some kind of racing Benelli. And these are his small Yamaha collections.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good.
Hot enough to get it blown with big me. But Chance, who's that?
And I don't know what this is. What is this?
Some of our rounds early on. And it's just like over on Edgewater and you know,
It's funky.
and like this place also, he had a place first called S6.
Yeah.
And
I remember him.
Yeah, and then he closed that down, opened up a place called Project Burnout. And it's just a bunch of old bikes. And
He bought my piano.
I can't tell what it is.
Yeah, that's where I've seen it.
Fuji Rabbit and a Silver Pigeon.
Wacky little scooter.
And that one has me stumped.
Off-brand German weights.
Maybe you can guess in the comments. I don't want to bug Steve while he's in with a customer. So we left the inner sanctum to go to his, I guess you call this your transition room.
Yeah, these are
Bikes that are too nice, they're not junk, they're bikes that you plan to do something with or that can be done.
They're all going to be revived.
And so I want to point out a few things. We were looking at this because this is a Hercules 50. We were looking at this front end, and it's a swing arm. It's got a Sachs motor in it. Oh, there's going to be a model. Maybe I can shine a headlight on it because I wonder if it's a JBK or that was something different. Next to another Perilla. We were wondering, like, this is one of those Pook All-State scooters, but I've never seen one in white. We don't, that looks like that's probably original. And what's that blue 2-stroke?
That's a 450, which
No, the light, this thing.
yeah, the model name is a 450, but they called it that because it's a 4-speed.
Oh, it's a
50cc.
It's a Benelli Montgomery Wards. Yeah, okay.
Yep. A Montgomery Wards Riverside 450. Yep.
And there's a TS90. And you were telling that funky yellow thing. Hang on, you said there was a motocross version of that and a street.
On the other side, yeah.
And that is so funky looking. What the heck is that?
That's a Parapoli with a Giulietta 50cc engine, but they call it a Tipa Americana, and the other one's a Cross 50.
And
This
is
one's
that
just a
Italian?
Italian.
Jeez. I didn't know that one. And this is sort of unique with the radial head. What is that?
That's just a Gorelli Monza moped,
Oh, okay.
50cc.
All right.
There's a couple finished ones on the other side that we can
And
see.
then in the back is a pair of Hercules / DKW 100 or 125 scramblers.
Yep. One's an MX, one's the Enduro. This is sort of one of my favorite Honda Cubs because that's a 58 or 59, an early one.
And how can you tell an early one from a late one? I mean, all I know is push rod and overhead valve, you know.
So I just looked up the numbers, of course, but I asked the gentleman, I said, did you paint it? He says, Kane painted. He says, I go, what makes you think, you know, it's pre whatever? This is before I looked up the number.
I see it's got the blinkers, which were deleted later. It's got the blinkers in the handlebars, but
But his answer was him and his brother bought it in '64 and it was already painted.
Oh, okay.
And but that's a runner. That's a fun little bike.
Here your cat's back.
Hey, Frankie. Frankie Blue Eyes. The other one's Ninja.
Pair of Bridgestones.
CR250 Husky.
There's a Jawa. Oh, it's not a Californian because that's the 250. I don't know what that.
It's a CZ, a 1962 CZ.
Oh, it's a CZ?
Yeah.
It's not a Jawa?
Nope.
Maybe they rebadged them and they sold them under both names because it sure looks identical. Down to the color.
Mechanism. We could show them outside with the
Shifter
kickstarts.
kicker.
Also
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Triumph 500. Here we go. Bultaco. Matador. Ooh, it's a 6 days. You know that's a 6 days? That's kind of an item.
Now I do.
Well, because of the toolbox on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's sort of a thing. It's like, I guess, 73. I forget the model number.
Very cool.
Check out the freaking horns on that Honda.
Hi, baby. Hi, Frenchie.
Little bit. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh.
So everything in this room and everything in that room runs.
I've never seen these little Peugeot. Oh. They're mopeds. But they're stylish. They actually look like mini motorcycles. They're actually stylish.
So this is the last, really, of the Peugeots. These were the TSMs. They gave them to their dealers. It was sort of to compete against the Puch LTD. So there was rumored to be 1,000 of them sent to the U.S. The difference is they did make these over in France and sold them there as well. And they made a black version, which is really the desirable, the TSMR.
So if you know, the current Peugeot scooters that they sell in Europe, are they Chinese or are they still French?
That, I don't know.
I was just curious. So this is your moped room. I don't know much about mopeds, and you're the only guy I know. Oh, that is a nice 360. Oh, you detailed it up. That's like the one in on my webpage that I think I just sold.
Yeah, that's a 74 that it was original condition. I sold it to a friend of mine who painted it up, and
Yeah, but it looks fine. You can ride them that way.
yeah, it definitely a good runner. That's one of the only big bikes I have. That's the R90/6, but it was a one-owner bike with 11,000 miles, so
That's kind of a thing.
sort of fun, man. I
Yeah.
like the original stuff. Yeah, original titles. 64 Monza.
Ducati.
Side covers on it.
Another Benelli.
250 Super Sport.
Well, you have your work cut out more than me. Actually, oh, here's your kitties. Another room. Can-Am TNT.
So here's what those, that's what the Gorelli, so that's the Italian version of that Peugeot we saw there, attempted a top tank. But they went from the radial head, and their last version was the flat head, a little bit faster.
Oh, look at those cool vintage fairings.
I always like to see what catches your eye, man. Different than what catches most. Here's your Maverick next to a Chibi.
I have a fellow looking for chibi parts, if you know.
Well, this is that's a parts bike, so there you go.
So, can I put you two together?
Sure, of course.
All right. Oh, another taco. Wait, what is this?
That came from John. Libido, 125 Libido.
There's a lot that's nice and a lot that still needs to be done on that. Now this is near the end when Penton and KTM. So that's not a Sachs. Well, it might be derived by Sachs. This is one of those.
This was one
Penton
of the last
KTMs.
ones.
Yeah,
It's a Jack Piner, so it's the 175. But you could see the original powder blue, which is what it should be. Somebody wanted to make this race it white, and it's actually the Mint 400 tank on it rather than the Jack Piner. But the bike itself, this was, I was told, one of the first years where they actually put KTM on the motor for the Jack Piner, which was 74, 75 for that size. And this is one of my favorite Hidakas, because I call it the Franken-Daka, where they took Wombat.
someone made it into like a trials-ish bike.
Yeah, so they took Preston Petty fenders and stuff. They put a Wombat frame with an Ace engine or vice versa. You know, essentially kids in the 70s putting anything they could.
You know, they still do that with Hidakas.
This is one of my favorite of the mopeds, the Benelli Sprint.
So, what? It's not early 60s. It's later than that.
What, this one?
That is that the Benelli Sprint,
No,
or is
this one? This
one?
here is
All
the
right.
one that got imported. That has the exposed outside shocks, and for a moped, it's a pretty stylish guy.
Yeah.
Mid 70s. No, this was the this one was sold in the States. This is a very early for Motorbicane when they got involved, because you still see it has the brake. So for folks
The
who like,
bicycle brakes.
for folks who like, you know, Motorbicane started as a bicycle company and still is now, but
You know, the.
super early.
And what did you say this Sparta was?
So it was made in Belgium. They used essentially a Honda S90 frame. It is a moped, but it has a Sachs, which is a German engine, of course. So it's a 50cc. And then it still also, just for one little added, it has the hand...
The 3-speed cable operated stuff?
Manual hand shifted.
And is it a 3-speed?
2-speed.
2-speed.
You have to roll it up for first to go through neutral in the second. And it's actually completely stock and probably rides 35 mile an hour.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a fun bike. It really is.
Yeah, and little tires.
Oh, of all these 50cc's we've seen, probably my most favorite to ride is just a simple U5. And the leg shields are over there for it, but 3-speed,
Yeah,
semi-automatic.
I had a U7.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're fun.
I've had this bike for 2 years. We just got it running this week.
Went to
and
a friend of mine, yeah.
So incredibly fun. Comfortable.
Now, is the U5 electric start or just kick?
Nope, just
Okay,
kick.
all right. But it's ejected, isn't it? I see 2 cables going in. Is the oil injected?
I don't know.
Well, I see 2 cables going in the side.
You're getting very technical on me now, Dave.
Technical. I'm just guessing, but I don't know where the oil tank is. I don't remember.
This is with my 240 pounds on it. This is a Hobbit that goes 60 plus.
Oh, I remember the Honda Hobbit.
Sort of fun.
I think I've seen it before, but you guys are probably interested in this. It's like a Honda motor wheel kind of a deal. And look how the exhaust swings front. And then reaches to the other side. So the reason I'm staring at it is I'm trying to figure out what this is. There's a cable going to it. And I don't see a carburetor. Oh, there's the carburetor up here. So is that some type of compression release on the valve train? Look at that funky carburetor. With the air intake up into here and the petcock here. That's a funky looking thing.
See, I like it over there.
Wonder what it's like, some kind of breather.